This
Welcome
meeting is being
in,
recorded.
everybody. Back in the box with this week with McKinsFM. It's been a long time coming. We've tried to set some of these things up, but he's a busy man, you know. He's a busy man. But finally, season 4, episode 6, he is in the box with me, and we are going to talk through his football history. Obviously, you can find McKins at all the links underneath him via Twitter, on Twitch. Currently doing a Saving Swindon, which is now not really saving Swindon, is it? It's succeeding with Swindon.
Yeah, it's changed slightly now. We started off with a huge transfer embargo in the first season, which is a challenge at the start. But yeah, now we're near the top of the Prem, so it's changed slightly now. But we're going to try and win the Champions League if we can.
Good stuff, and plenty of time before FM23 comes out. So I mean, yeah, loads of time to do it.
Yeah, I don't think even I can bottle that. So we'll see.
So obviously, we will start off. It's the same 5 questions we always have, but with different, obviously, responses through different people. So we will start with question number 1. What is your first real memory of football?
So when I was a lot younger, I'm talking kind of primary school age, I didn't have any interest in football whatsoever.
Right.
Some of my best mates, they did, but I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype. They all play for the football team. I went to watch them a few times, and I just thought, I'm not at all interested in this. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And my best friend at the time was a big Liverpool fan, and I spent a lot of time with him. And I ended up getting a Liverpool shirt because he supported Liverpool. So I thought, well, let's try and fit in with the crowd, you know. And we started playing football a little bit down the park, and I started to get into it a little bit more. And it almost like was a completely opposite. It became a little bit of like an obsession from then. Yeah. And used to go down the park and play every day. And my first ever football game was Liverpool versus Arsenal at the Millennium Stadium in the Charity Shield, which was a bit insane really for a first ever game, because my dad's a big Chelsea fan and he can't stand Liverpool. To the fact that he bought me some tickets to go and watch Liverpool at the Millennium Stadium was huge. But yeah, the moment when you walk into a stadium like that for the first time and just have a look out at the pitch and the crowd, it's an insane feeling.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know unless you've been there and you've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my interest went from 0 up to 10 in the space of a couple of years, really. And now I'm just like a football addict.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to the new Wembley, and I never went to Millennium. I went to the old Wembley a number of times, but obviously when I lived sort of down south, it was a lot easier to just jump on a train and you're in London in half an hour, whereas now it's a bit more of a trek. But
yeah, I've been to the new Wembley 3 times to watch Swindon, twice in the playoff final and once in the Johnson's Paint Trophy final. And every time we've lost and we've not even scored a goal.
Yeah.
So 3 times there, not celebrated a goal yet. It's not a great record.
I mean, I'll be honest, if Reading get to playoffs finals, I don't bother. They ain't going to win them. They've never won a playoff. Never won a playoff. We either have to finish first or second, and otherwise, yeah, no point in me even rocking up. Cool. So obviously that was a sudden switch up in the love-hate relationship with football. So what was the first major tournament that you remember? And what was it that you remember most fondly then?
So I'm 30 now. And when the World Cup in '98 was on, I would have been kind of 7, 8, and I didn't care about football then, so I don't remember anything about that tournament at all.
Right. Yeah.
I know that France won it. I know that at that time France were kind of the biggest team in the world and had the best players, Zidane, etc. I don't remember that at all. My first proper tournament when I used to like football was the 2002 World Cup, the Korea-Japan one.
Yes.
Because in my memory, that was massive. I got the DVD of kind of all of the goals from that tournament, and I've watched it multiple times in my life. For me, that World Cup was insane for kind of so many reasons. Really, you had the great Brazil team with Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo at their like kind of absolute peak. That team was just so good to watch.
Yeah.
You had the likes of Senegal, just went on a mad one and went all through the tournament with the African players, and you had, I think, Turkey did really well at that World Cup.
Yeah, Turkey got to the semis.
Korea did really well. So it was almost like the World Cup of the underdogs. I remember in the first game of that tournament, Senegal beat France, who were the World Cup champions at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that was the first tournament that I watched, and it was when England got knocked out to Brazil was it the quarterfinals? We got knocked out by Brazil. I think it was the quarters, right?
Yeah.
because obviously it was in Korea, so the kickoff times are all really random. And I remember watching the first half at home when it was Michael Owen, wasn't it, that put us 1-0 up, and then kind of got to school.
Yes.
The plan was to watch the second half at school. It was 1-1, and then obviously Seaman got lobbed, didn't he? So yeah, that moment was at the time, it as a child, like, it doesn't really matter as much, because it's like it's almost like you don't care as much as a child. You don't really have a care in the world. Do you? As an adult, it really hurts.
Yeah.
So at the time, it didn't hurt. But looking back, it's like, if that happened now, I would be devastated about it. But yeah, that World Cup for me was huge. I loved it.
Yeah, I always find it weird when you have TV cameras on and they pan around the ground and they always focus on a kid crying, and I'm like, wow. I mean, if you're crying now and you've not fully grasped this, you are going to be mortified when you're 19, 20 and older.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, no, I mean, like, as a teacher, when I hear some of the children in my class say, "Oh, England lost, oh well," what do you mean, oh well? Like, it's devastating. Don't give me oh well.
Yeah. Stand outside the door for 10 minutes and think about what you've just said.
Exactly.
Deary me. I mean, it was a great World Cup, because I mean, you talk about the underdogs and as well. Obviously, Japan done really well. So the two host nations who were expected to just get whitewashed. I mean, South Korea got to the semi-final. Turkey got to a semi-final. Japan got beat in the quarters, I think. So it was a year for the underdogs, but also a year for the big teams to go out early. Because I mean, France didn't even get through the group.
No, they didn't.
Recollection, no. They had Zidane and Henry injured, and they tried to play both of them while they were crocked, and it just failed miserably.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it was an absolutely belting World Cup, and I mean, as you say, the Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho forward line. And to making it even more impressive was Ronaldo only just coming back from a year and a half out injured. And finishing top scorer.
Yeah, and he had the silly haircut, didn't he?
He had the silly little front fringe.
Yeah, for me, like, whatever happens in the World Cup now in the rest of my life, that World Cup will always be in my memory like the best one, because I don't think you can top what happened for so many reasons in that World Cup.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very good one. And I think it's one of those as well, as I say, because of the underdogs, I think most people look back on that with fond memories, irrelevant of England's success or failure. I think a lot of people still look back on it and think that was one of the good ones. So, yeah, bonus. What a good one to start with. Cool. Okay, so question number 3. When you played football, what was your main position or your most consistent position? Where did you feature most?
So I was a right back. Now, people say that right backs are either failed centre backs or failed wingers, right? I was neither. I chose to be a right back. For a few reasons, really. I didn't like being kind of in the limelight. I was a very shy child. I loved football, but I just wanted to be on the pitch and playing, but not in the centre of everything, if that made sense. So in my head, playing fullback kind of fit that. I've always had kind of a football brain. I know what I need to do with the ball. I just physically can't do it.
The brain works, but the body isn't in conjunction.
No, so I always thought, right, this would be a really good opportunity to bomb down that wing now. But it's like, if I do that, I'm going to take half an hour to get back. So it's working out physically what I was capable of doing. But yeah, I was always a right back. I'm 6'3", so I'm quite a tall person. So for a fullback, I'm quite tall. But never been that good in the air. So I thought, as a centre back, I don't really cut it. You know, as a winger, I've not got the energy for that. So I was always a right back.
Fair. I'll tell you what,
it's also a position that not many people choose to play in. So it's like, when you need to play and you go to a team and you say, I'm a striker, they probably already have about 10 of them. If you go and say, right, I'm a fullback, you almost can't the team, don't you? So
you're in. Do you know what? One of the things doing this show I'm finding about is a lot of streamers are a hell of a lot taller than I ever thought. I feel short. I feel short. I'm 5'10". I'm average. Everyone else is massive.
Never usually when I say I'm 6'3", but that was not a lie. Genuinely, I am.
So the right back position, as you say, is one of those where when you go into somewhere, it is very much a no one else is offering to play there. Well, to be fair, anywhere across the back line, there's always the crazy kid who wants to go in goal.
Yeah, and that was never me.
No, and then there's strikers who are pushed out wide to be wingers, and then you've got a couple of the kids who are just very good who play centre midfield all the time.
Yeah.
Fullback always used to be, when I was growing up, the fullback positions always used to be the damage limitation places, because you could put either anyone there, and it would normally take a while for the opposition to work out that they're not very good. So you could get away with it without sort of taking much out of the rest of the team. That's changed drastically now, because everyone wants attacking fullbacks. So now you've got to be able to play. But
God, no, it's completely different nowadays. Fullbacks are so important. I couldn't do it now, but back in the day, you shove me out right back, and I'm out the way. Then, aren't I? You can get away with being a little bit crap.
Well, yeah, essentially, it's you didn't have to be. I mean, I'm talking sort of pre your time as well. But you didn't have to be the best footballer or the quickest or anything like that. You're an additional body. So long as you followed the instructions of other people, you were all right. Which is, sometimes that was better than having the kids who thought they knew best because they didn't follow any instructions.
Yeah, completely.
And that's why I do not do anything with children's football. Adult football only, because managing the kids, you've got to manage the kids and the adults and the parents on the sideline. And I'll just cut out the middleman and just go to the adults.
Yeah. See, I do. Being a teacher, I do, because I lead PE in my school as well. So I do all the sports teams. So I manage the school football team. And it's quite funny. I'll sometimes shout things onto the pitch, and they won't have a clue what I'm talking about. Like, right, go and play Mazzala support. They're like, oh, what does that even mean? I don't even know, mate. Go run around a bit.
Today you're playing wide centre back. You're Regista.
Play more like a pressing forward instead of an advance forward. They're like, what? What do you mean? Run around a bit. Don't just stand there.
What's wrong with you children? Why have you not got Football Manager?
Come on, you're not a trequartiste. Let's start moving a bit.
Oh, I love it. It's so bad, but I try and implement that in some of the tactics I go with, but I just don't use the terms for them, because no one will have a clue. And all that'll happen is they'll go, "You've been playing Football Manager again, haven't you?"
Yeah.
What do you mean again? All the time.
Every day.
Cool. So if there was one thing you could have done that would have improved your footballing ability, what would it have been?
So as I've already said, I was quite a shy child. I loved playing football. Most of my time playing was down the park with friends. Like, we spent every day out there playing. I didn't really play for a team, like an actual team as such, very much as a teenager. Right. And I look back, I do kind of regret that now. And the main reason why I didn't was because I didn't really have the balls to like take that step and go and do it. Like, when I was at my peak, I would say kind of mid-teens, I was more than good enough to play for a team. Well, I could play right back for a team, but I didn't, because I was almost too shy to go and ask, or too shy to take the step. It's very different, isn't it, playing down the park and playing for a team, knowing that you're being watched, knowing that there's more pressure on you to perform, which you don't have down the park with your mates.
No,
and so I shied away from that pressure, thinking I don't want to put myself through this, like, because I get nervous. I don't really want to do that. But looking back now, that was completely the wrong thing to do, because if I played for a team more than I did, because I did for a little while, but it wasn't for too long a time. I feel like if I did take that step and play for teams properly during that time, I could have actually become something not good, but I would have been more than good enough to play for teams. And I feel like for any child out there that's in the same situation, like, just, you've got to step out of your comfort zone and take that brave step and just go and do it. Even if the rest of the players are better than you do it because you enjoy it. Like, you almost need to forget the pressure on you and forget that you're being watched, and just go and enjoy and pretend you're in the park playing football. And I almost didn't handle that pressure as a child very well. So I just ignored it and pretended to just not do it. Like, and I just like stayed down the park. But I think, to improve me as a player, I should have taken the step to go and play more proper football. And I think that would have helped me a lot. But I was almost held back by my own like self-confidence, if that makes sense.
It's amazing the difference it makes when you get that grounding of playing in a team on a regular basis when you're younger. So that tactical awareness and things like that comes in a little bit easier. I think I was quite lucky that done judo. I'm one of the kids who done judo. My dad used to talk to his dad. He played football for a team as well.
Yep.
My dad took me along to go training with them. It wasn't the best experience. They had a very good team. It was a very settled team, and I got a look in every so often. I was probably at the time maybe good enough to be in the team. I wasn't so bad that I only deserved 10, 15 minutes every week. But it was a confidence destroyer a little bit. And I think it then took 2 years to go and play again. And it was friends then said, come and play. So I think I got that initial push from parents. And I know that it becomes, when kids get that, it can go one of two ways. Kids can either resent it because they feel they're pressured into it, or they try and embrace it, or they want to prove something, which is, if you don't get the push from parents and it is left to your own devices, then it can, as you say, it can spiral into that kind of shyness and nervousness about putting yourself forward.
Yeah, and you almost need to not let those experiences affect you. Like one thing that happened to me was I had a friend who came to me one day when I think I must have been about 13, and he said, right, we're in pre-season, come and play in training, you might kind of get some matches. And so I went along and I was a bit nervous about it, and we had 2 friendlies, and I think we must have been the under 13s, and we were playing the under 16s just as a bit of a kick around to like get ready for the season. And I think it was about 30-0. I played centre back, and obviously when you lose 30-0, whoever you're playing as a centre back is very demoralising.
Yes.
And then the second friendly a few days later, because this team wasn't particularly good, it was the bottom 2 teams from the last season playing together just to see how it pans out. And again, I played centre back for the game. We went 1-0 up, and I thought, right, it's not so bad, is it? Like, we can win matches. It's not horrendous. We lost 6-1. So when you're being put through that, like as a child, it's so hard to just forget about it and think, right, it's not all going to be like this. Like, you will enjoy it. You are going to win some matches. And I ended up like not going back to that team after that, because I thought I didn't enjoy it. Like, but I didn't even realize but not every game's going to be like that. It is going to get better. And I think that's experiences like that kind of put you off, but you need to not let those experiences put you off in the future.
No, I completely agree, and it's hard to do. And I think, as you say, it does have not a lasting effect, but it does have an effect for a period of time. And it's only when, as you say, when you start to get a little bit older, that you think, do you know what, actually I don't think it will be as bad. And some of that is life experience. Well, a lot of it is life experience. You know that every day is not going to be a rubbish day. So every game's not going to be a rubbish game. So yeah,
of course.
Cool. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So we move on to number 5, the big 5. What are the 5 key attributes that you feel make up the modern day footballer, or to be the best of the modern day footballer? So we're not necessarily position specific. We are looking for the key elements.
Right, I'm getting my phone out here because I'm making a bit of a list. I was in bed this morning. I've got an hour to kill. Right, let's really think about this. And think of really good things. So first on my list is attitude. Do you see so many people or so many players completely ruin their career nowadays because they don't want to put the effort in? You even think of the likes of like Dele Alli, for example, who for a couple of seasons was like unplayable as a teenager. But what happened to him? Like the only possible like thing that's happened is that he just doesn't care enough. Because if he did, he wouldn't be at Everton now. He would be either at Tottenham or someone even better than Tottenham, like playing top level every week, scoring goals. And there must be a reason why that's not happening. And you look to other names like other names that pop into my head would be like Revel Morrison, who was like 100%. An absolute star as a teenager, but his career's just taken a plummet. And the rumors you hear is because he just doesn't have the correct attitude. So I think even before you get onto physical attributes or any of that stuff, you've got to have the right mindset to play football. You've got to think, right, I need to work at this, I need to train every day, because even if I've got the talent, I'm never going to make it unless I put the effort in. So for me, attitude is huge.
I think the River Morrison one is almost a disappointment that he still has a career in football, which is a really harsh thing to say. But to throw away that much talent, and people keep giving him the opportunities, and he goes to a club and he's there for a year, and he goes to another club and he's there for a year, and you think someone just in the end just say no. He's wasting everyone's time. He's robbing a living most of the time.
Yeah. And a really similar example would be Niall Ranger, who, as a teenager at Newcastle, was like a real talent. And he came to play for Swindon for a season. We kind of gave him a chance after 6 months away. And I thought, right, if he can change his attitude around, what talent we've got here on our hands. He got arrested about 3 times throughout the season. He ended up playing about 10 matches. And for those matches, he was really good.
Yeah.
But he was always in jail. So it's like, well, why? Like, he still plays football now for somebody. Like, why, like you said, why are they still being given a chance when this is like chance 57 now?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you've ruined your career. Like, that should be it now.
Yep. Completely agree.
Yeah. Right. Number 2 on my list.
Yes.
Isn't really anything to do with the player itself, but I've put support. You can't make it without a team of people around you that help you for lots of different reasons. You almost need your family, your friends, your coaches. All of these people, if nothing else, will help you to have the confidence to be really good at what you do. Obviously, playing football, it can be quite a lonely place at times.
Yeah.
And you sometimes need someone to give you a bit of a boost. And that could be someone close to you in your family. That could be a teammate. But the support is so important. The worst thing you can feel is being on a team and feeling alone.
Yeah.
Because how do you, when you're stuck in a hole, when you're not playing very well, when you're in a bad run of form, if your team's not doing very well, you need help to get out of that place. And it always comes back to like the mental health side of things. The people around you are so important. And with a good team around you, you can almost improve as a player.
Yeah, I like that. We've never had that brought up before, but the support around you is massive. And it's also, I think, you know, one of the other things is everyone that you've got around you, whether it's family, partner, friends, having them understand the sacrifices you need to make to get to the top and running with it and not going, oh, don't worry, just come out for one drink or just stay in bed with me for another hour. It's all right if you're a little bit late to training. It's that kind of thing as well, isn't it? And it's having everyone on the same wavelength, which is, absolutely massive. Not something I've really even considered, but really good.
And it
I
links
like
to
that
the first one as well, because it's the attitude of the people around you as well, like you've just said, that almost tunes into your attitude. And as a team, that makes a huge difference.
And equally, it's having, if you've got the right attitude, is knowing that these people may not be the best people to be in your support network.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I know I like that a lot.
Who to keep close, who to not keep close.
No, I like that.
Yeah. Third, now, this is a physical one. I thought I need to have something physical on the list. So I've gone for pace.
Okay.
Now, we all know playing football, it gives you an advantage if you are quick. It doesn't matter who you're playing or who's on your team or what else you've got. You could be dreadful at kicking a football. If you're quick, it gives you advantage over lots of people. And you see in world football, all of the top players, or majority of the top players anyway, they've got the pace. They have loads of other attributes, but they're quick. Virgil van Dijk, for example, best defender in the world. He's got so many good qualities about him. He's quick. You know he's going to beat you to the ball. But Ronaldo and Mbappe, they've all got the pace. I think pace gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put one physical thing on the list. And I thought, well, what would I say is the most important thing? As a defender, what do I not want to play against the most? And it would be someone who is really quick.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So I've gone pace.
Yeah, cool. Okay. No, I've got nothing to add on pace until I hear the other two.
Fair enough. Right. So number 4 is almost like another mental attribute again. I'm trying to stay away from your typical physical things. I thought I'd go a little bit left field and try the other things that you would need to be a footballer. And I've gone for 2 things that are almost linked, I think. So I've gone for level-headedness and patience.
Okay.
So when you're on the pitch and it's not all going your way, certain players will not react in the best way. They will argue with the referee. They will foul. They will swear. They will kick off. They will not be able to control their emotions. And again, that comes back to the mental health side of things again. You need to be able to have self-control with your emotions in order to deal with situations.
Yeah.
And people who struggle with that, it's almost harder for them to get to the top.
Yes.
Because the support network around you will find it harder to support you if you almost don't help yourself in that way.
Yeah.
So I think going on the pitch and knowing that things aren't always going to go your way,
but
being able to deal with that will almost help you to move on from it, I would say.
Yes, no,
And
I agree.
I've added into that patience, because not always things aren't always handed to you on a plate straight away. Like, you need to wait for the opportunity. And it's almost like when you're not having the best day in life, playing sport or whatever, sometimes it takes you to take a step back and just wait for a bit and have some patience and wait for your emotions to drop down again before you can deal with things in the best way.
Yeah.
Because if your emotions are heightened in that situation there and then, that might not be the best place to have that conversation, or to go to a manager and say, I'm not happy about this. You need to have the patience to control yourself and then be able to say, right, I'm feeling level-headed now. I'm going to go and have a proper conversation about this with the person who I need to talk to see if I can resolve the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So link to almost the attitude again, like the two of them come hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was thinking then, you've got a case in point at the moment at Aston Villa with Carney Chukwuemeka, who contract is due to run out, and he's 18. I'm not playing enough games. When my contract goes, I'm leaving. Go off to another club. But because he's really raved about, there's lots of big clubs looking at him. Very much the same as Paul Pogba when he was at Manchester United as a youngster. I'm not getting the game time. Juve pick him up. I mean, he's potentially going to stitch up Man United twice, because they then paid a load of money for him. He spends half his time injured and looking uninterested, and he's probably going to go on a free transfer again. So, you know, but for youngsters especially, that patience is a key thing, I think, is biding your time, because at 17, 18, you've got to be waiting to get that opportunity. And when it comes, take it.
Yeah. And of course, it's frustrating. Like when you feel like you should be in the team, but you're not quite getting in, it's what you can do to help yourself. Another example would be, I think, Dominic Solanke when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know for sure because I'm not his agent, but the rumours were his contract was running out when he was 17, and he wanted 100 grand at Chelsea, or he said, I'm going to walk out. And it's like, you're not in a position to say that. Like, what have you done in your career at 17 that's warranted £100,000 a week? Just because you see some other people around the world like receiving that kind of money, but they've proved themselves. It's almost like they've deserved the pay rise. You're Dominic Solanke. You've not had a professional game in your career yet.
Yeah,
so
he refused to go out on loan.
Good on Chelsea for saying, well, I've had enough of you then. You can go and get on with it. And I'm not saying he's a horrendous player. Like, he plays for Bournemouth now. He's having an okay career.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because his attitude has turned around a bit. Maybe he's realised, well, I can't act like that. Let's play for Bournemouth. Let's go and get football, and I'll work my way back up from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he went to Liverpool first and failed miserably there, and then somehow Bournemouth decided £20 million was a good spend. But he's doing well in the Championship. But you know, it'll be interesting to see when Bournemouth come back up how well he does, or if Bournemouth come back up this season, how well he does in the Prem, and whether actually that shout was justified for his potential, or whether actually he is one of those who's not quite good enough for the Prem, too good for the Championship.
Or kick off again and say, right, I'm a Premier League player now. I want to move to a top club again. Tom, look, just realise your level, mate.
Understand the situation you're in.
You're not going to go back to Chelsea. Just enjoy your football.
Well, I don't know. Lukaku's playing awful at the moment. He might do.
Oh, dreadful, isn't he? I can't, like, my dad's like I said, and he is so frustrated with Lukaku right now. I kept trying to tell him, like, that's a really good sign. It's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
But at the moment, he's not justifying it at all, is he? It's a difficult one.
Yeah. Cool. Number 5.
Right, so my final one is kind of a physical one, really, but it's something that if you don't have, it really does hinder you as a footballer, and it's being two-footed. The one reason why I wanted to play right back was because I didn't have a left foot, and I felt so uncomfortable, like, trying to use it. I always avoided it. I thought I can play right back and not use my left foot at all.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult in whatever position you play on the pitch, even as a goalkeeper. You have to practice with both feet, and it's almost the biggest advice that I give children as a teacher when I'm coaching the school football team. It's like, okay, you might not enjoy your left foot or your right foot, but you have to practice. Even if you get to a level where you can use it a little bit, that's so much better than not being able to use it at all. There are certain situations on the pitch where you kind of have to use your other foot, because it will put you in a situation that you don't want to be in if you try and use your other foot. Like, if you're in front of your own goal and it's on your left foot and you have to clear and you try to use your right foot, it might go in your own net. Like, you have to practice using both feet. It's so beneficial to have that in your armory, I think.
100%, yeah. And now you've added that in, that then makes a football related bit, which then I like the pace bit with, because you can go both ways. The pace, I completely agree with you. If you've got pace, you have an advantage over the opposition. If you don't have something that relates to being able to play football, then all you've got is someone running after a ball and then running off the pitch with the ball. Being two-footed then means that, you know, it gives you that link to being able to play with both feet. So being able to play with both feet, the pace then works brilliantly because it gives you so many options, no matter where you play on that pitch. As you say, you know, if you're a striker, you're not constantly trying to get the ball back onto your good foot. If you're a winger, you can play either side. You can go inside or outside and cross a ball.
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling, a prime example of a winger who cannot use both feet. When he plays on the right, he drives and drills the ball across. When he plays on the left, he goes down the wing, and then he either tries to cut back every time and kills the move, or he tries to play a pass with the outside of his boot with his right foot and fails quite a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes you think, is that because Pep has told him to do that, or just because he can't use his left foot? And you never really know, do you?
No, that's very true. But the amount he doesn't use it when he's in a position to, there's definitely a question mark over he is a guy who is relying on his pace and not his two-footedness.
Yeah, I agree. No, I kind of see what you're saying about the pace. Of course, you can make as a footballer without blistering pace. You can, and all of the things on my list, like if you had all of them, I guess what I'm saying is if you had the other four, but you were slow, you wouldn't be as effective than if you had them all and pace. If you see what I mean.
100%. No, I agree. I agree completely. So we've got attitude, we've got the support network around you, pace, and then we've got that patience, that level-headedness, staying calm under pressure, but also not rushing your career and things like that. And then two-footedness. I like different things on these bits, and support is something completely new. I love that. And 100%, you will never make it if you do not have the right support network around you. And it's fantastic.
Cool. I thought hard along about that.
I like it. Thank you. You know, I like it when someone puts the effort in and they do their research, and you know, it's almost like you're prepping for a draft. I
always prep for drafts.
So do I. It doesn't always work out so well. But yes, as I said, guys, if you are watching this live on the live shows, McKins details all underneath him right now. If you are watching it on YouTube, details all underneath him still. If you are listening to us on Anchor FM or Spotify, all of the links and details are in the description. For now, though, we will say au revoir. Thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us today, McKins, and we will catch you all soon.
No worries. See you later.